Hello, everyone, and welcome to this pre-recorded episode of Americano Update. This is a special show this show is for International Women's Day 2022. I'm sorry about the previous announcements and the scheduling, excuse me, the scheduling conflicts, but like I said before, new channel, we're still growing, and let's begin. Okay, hopefully this will be cleaned up nice in the edit.
Okay.
So I have with me here today the one, the only, the very beautiful Noreen Toledo.
Thank you.
Noreen is hi, Noreen. Full disclosure, Noreen is my friend, and she is the co-owner of the best Indian restaurant in Davao and the best restaurant period in Davao. It is called 5S Indian 5S Box Restaurant. It's on the Medical School Drive near the corner of
before going to Bahada.
Right, exactly. It's near that. It's on that street near the corner of JP Laurel. I highly recommend everybody check them out. Great vegetable samosas, great chai, great mango lassi, absolutely perfect lamb biryani or biryani, but it's terrific. And just a little bit more to intro Noreen. Noreen, her husband is Indian, and I like to tease her and her husband that he is not Indian, she is not Filipina. They are actually Emirati because they both met in Dubai, which is where Noreen was working for a little while. So Noreen is married. She is, like I said, the owner of the restaurant, and maybe we will be joined by two other women later. Again, this is for International Women's Day. It would have been better if we could have, not instead of myself, a female doing this, but again, sorry everyone, we're not doing this live. This had to be pre-recorded. Also, International Women's Day is Tuesday, 8 March. But we're doing this today a little early, again, for scheduling and reasons like that. Maybe we'll release the video, maybe we'll release the video on International Women's Day, or maybe as soon as it's ready, we'll see. So welcome, Noreen. Thank you so much for joining.
Hi, welcome, Andres, my Americano friend.
Yes, we are friends. Full disclosure, we are, Noreen and I are friends. So, yeah. Noreen, you are, first, you are a woman, is that correct?
Well, probably, yeah. I don't see something coming out.
Okay, so Noreen, you're a woman. What about what have you seen in your lifetime? What changes have you seen? You've lived in the Philippines, you've lived in Davao, you've lived in Dubai. Maybe what changes, what differences do you see in Dubai and Davao? What or in other countries you've been, or what differences between when the different places you've been to, or maybe when you were younger and when you were a little girl, then a teenager, now you're married and you're a business owner. Would you say things have gotten better, worse, stayed the same for yourself or for women in general, or have some things have stayed the same, gotten better, gotten worse for yourself or women in general?
Okay, so for myself, there's a lot of changes, okay? Especially the size of my body is changing as I grow older. Okay, so per se, for the international scene or for everything, right? For everybody. So basically, since, well, if I observe the women in Davao and outside the country, it's a lot of difference, okay? Because like right now, it's more modern and mostly women, especially in Davao, I cannot understand because they're trying to be conservative, but they're actually modern in dressing styles, like, you know, and in the way of, how can you say that? Like projecting themselves, but actually they're still on the conservative ways of like courtships somehow, yeah, and stuff. Okay, well, in Dubai it's different. Like in the Middle East, like women there are actually conservative. They're wearing this, you know, as much as possible. Like especially my wearing sense right now, it's actually been, how can you say that, they have a big influence in me in doing my dressing style, because before I'm also modern, like I like to flaunt, you know, some of the my skin or stuff because it makes me comfortable. Well, anyway, before I am not this fat, so it's okay. You know, I have to hide, you know, those part of the body, so I need to wear proper clothes where it cannot be seen, but you can be projected as sexy maturely. So yeah, that's it. What more can I say?
Well, you know, it's very interesting because when we talk about fashion and women's fashion and what's appropriate and what's not, what's modest, what is not, because before the Spanish came here to the Philippines, and I say we because I live here and because my wife is a Filipina, we were all just running around naked, you know. And I'm not
It's in the Malay
suggesting.
part, not in the Spanish.
Okay,
I don't
okay,
think so.
okay. I said before the Spanish came here.
Okay, yeah, before.
I said before.
Okay. Probably.
Before some of us, before the Spanish came here, some of us were definitely running around naked. And it's funny. The other day I saw this woman wearing the hijab somewhere here in Davao. This was in a cafe, and so she took off her mask, and I noticed she was wearing because you know we're all wearing face masks. She took off her mask, and I noticed she was wearing high heel shoes and a lot of makeup. And so it you know it brings up the
It
whole
happens in
question: what is
Dubai.
right? Exactly. What is
Yeah.
if the burqa is about feminine modesty, well then what's the pre-COVID? What's the point of, you probably saw this in Dubai because you were in Dubai pre-COVID. Then what's the point of, or not what's the point? Then I just want to say it's interesting that if the hijab is about feminine modesty, you have these women, Muslim women wearing the hijab, yet they've got long eyelashes, lipstick, rouge on the cheek, high heels. Their hair might be covered, but the rest of their clothes and their skin might be completely covered, but their clothes are so tight. You know what, you got a pretty good idea of what she looks like without anything.
Yeah, you know
so,
why?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the definition of us is like we actually dressed well and take care of ourselves, putting makeup, not to impress the men, actually to impress our fellow women. That's really odd, but that's how it is. Like we like to look better than this women, you know what I mean? So actually it's that thing. And secondly is the men, like because if you're really like attractive, then if you have men attracted to you, then it's a plus points to women, like, oh my god, I should look like her, or I should dress up like her, because you know, like men are actually attracted to her. So these kind of things, but we are definitely like wearing, or you know, being fashionist and very conscious on our dressing up and our taking care of our skin, everything. Because we like to look better than the other women. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
that's very interesting. That's very interesting. You know, I don't think I'm a straight man, despite all the rumors you see on the internet and the questionable videos that you've seen all over the internet. I'm a straight man,
Yeah,
and I don't think, generally
but you
speaking.
like Philip.
Hmm?
It's okay.
Well, no, I don't like him. I just want him to show me that big tattoo he has on his chest. But
Well, his friend has more
um,
tattoo. You don't need to ask Philip about his tattoo.
there we go. Anyway,
Okay,
for everyone who's
go to your
listening,
next topic.
Philip,
Sorry, guys.
right. Yeah, sorry guys. Philip, Noreen and I are friends, and Philip is another friend of ours. But yeah, you know, I was talking about this to shamelessly plug my own channel while people are watching my channel. If you go on Americano Update, you'll see I talk a little bit about this, about how for men the appearance thing is a lot easier. I can shave my head. I don't need to wear makeup. You know, I'm not trying, and I'm also married, and well, it's clear that by her choice of husband, my wife did not really care too much about appearance. But
Okay.
does it matter?
Very defensive.
I'm not being defensive. I'm just being
Yes, you
real,
are.
you know. And
It's
you
just
know,
like telling,
and
I don't
plus,
want to take care of myself. Or
well,
I don't care
here's
about
the
the way
thing.
I look. What?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Maybe if I were female, I would.
Oh my God. So I wish God will make you a female next birth. I can see that. At least you can take care of
Hey,
yourself. Hey, you can, Andres. See, I saw you with the hair on your FB.
that
Good.
was years ago when I had hair. When I had hair, that was years ago.
Yeah.
Are you talking? You're talking about the picture on
But
where
now the
I
fad is bald. Bald is sexy now. Hello. So just do something and then you can be, projecting sexy.
well, actually, yeah, actually, The Rock and Jason Statham, they have helped make baldness sexy. And
Yes.
the truth is, I have made baldness sexy, because once I started shaving my head, every man in the world wanted to shave his head, you know.
Oh.
So, but anyway, yeah. So let's. I think there was something else I was going to say about that, but let's go on. But you know what? There is still, and it's a big industry, uh, for men to have hair implants or to treat their baldness. You know, some men, they just don't want to be bald, you know? Yeah.
Okay. Probably they look ridiculous when they're bald. Like I can see Parvis can be ridiculously looking when he's bald because his head is smaller. Can be.
I would think his head, just to let the audience know, Parviz is Noreen's husband. I would think his head would get. Doesn't your head look bigger for everybody? Doesn't it look like your head gets bigger when you shave all your hair? I would think.
I don't know. Probably.
Okay. You know what,
Okay.
Noreen? Let's do
So
this.
let's stick to the
You shave
topic.
your head, huh?
Let's
Okay.
let's stick
Well,
to the
let's.
topic. Come on. Well, Sara Duterte shaved her head
Okay.
and she looks okay.
Well, why don't you shave your head and see what happens?
I look like a bowling ball. I already cut it like short before. And Parvis is like, what the hell? You look like a ball. So I don't do it anymore.
Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you, and you can talk about this in personal terms or in general terms, what you think about it. And that is, you do not have children, but you're married and you have a career. So what do you think? Like, can women have it all? Career, husband, and children, can they have it all?
Yeah, why not? If they wanted to, yeah. I have friends who have it all. And they have also
What about?
a husband who's handsome and with a lot of money, so it's okay. But per se, sometimes people are not satisfied, you know, even though they have it all. So as much as possible, it's not about having it all. It's about how happy you are and what you are having right now, right?
Yeah, I talk about this on, I talk about this, I have talked about this on the other videos on my channel, Minimalism 1, 2, and 3. We get very philosophical and we talk about things like that, what makes you happy, et cetera, or as we say here in the Philippines, et cetera, sapinas, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. Okay. So what about now? I know there are in the Philippines, there are stay-home dads, stay-home moms. Um, any thoughts on that, Noreen?
Well, see, right now, the only thing our women are more of the career person or the career driven person in the family than the men. I can see that. It's not like before, like it's men, but now it's women who's doing that. So basically, what can I say? It's a change of face. And women right now are very competitive, you know? So like me, I am quite a competitive person. Like I've been working with the corporate world, and it's of course it's mostly men, especially on my job. But then I have to really excel. So that's the only thing. There will be discrimination. I agree with that, of course. But then it's not like men. I have to prove twice because I'm a woman. That's the only thing. You know, I don't know if you have experienced that when you work before in a corporate situation. If you have, well, yeah, it seems odd if women are performing very well.
So
I don't
Noreen,
know.
let me.
Intimidate men, probably.
Noreen, do you ever think you have lost, you were fired from a job because the men were jealous of your talent? Has that ever happened to you, or do you think that's ever happened to you?
That
Or
I've
a
been
similar
fired
situation?
to a job,
Or maybe not fired, or maybe something negative happened because at a workplace, because the men were jealous of your talent. Because I know of at least one woman, she was on television. She was the top sales performer in the United States for her company, and then they terminated her, either fired her or laid her off for budget cuts reasons. And she feels they were jealous of her talent. Now, maybe if she were a man, they still would have fired her because they still would have been jealous of her talent, or maybe they fired her because she's a woman, and so they were jealous that this woman was doing so well. Has anything like that ever happened to you, or have you observed that yourself happening maybe to another woman?
Well, basically, I have experience, but I was not fired. So the only thing I was like, I know that, you know, this person particularly is actually like, how can you say that, has been challenged, you know, because how can I be able to do that? And the only thing is I'm an Asian, and then I'm working with expats there who are especially Europeans, you know. And then when you excel, it's not being only a woman, but also being on your race itself, your passport. That's really sad. But unfortunately, because it's a sales business and I am productive, so that's why they cannot fire me, you know, because I give them the money. It's like, you're producing for the company. But probably if I'm just a regular administrative head of HR or something, probably they might fire me because of, you know, they might get intimidated of what you are, but not all, because there's some men like I work for also actually are happy to work with me and are happy to ask me, how I did it, so there are things like that. So it depends, yeah. But mostly there's also like women in the office who are also working with me, especially in the sales. If I really perform well, then they have this thing like, they get envy, like, yeah, I don't know why, but probably it just, how can you say that? Sometimes it's normal, especially on a very driven world, driven with money, driven with recognition. So that's it. Yeah, it's only how you're gonna deal with these people and take them in a way like, probably treat them still nice, but then you either have to prove more, so kill them with enviousness and be nice. That's it. Yeah. Yes, Andres. How about
So
you? Well, you're a man, but did you ever have that experience?
I have seen, yeah, I have seen uh uh and anti-Latino. It's very funny because in America, I can pass for white, but I'm also Latino, and a lot of people, I have received some discrimination for that from that, and I have definitely observed other people being discriminated against.
They're like
There's
confused because they cannot
hmm?
tell what you are. Probably they're confused because they cannot tell what you are or who you are or what kind of nationality you are. Because you're
That's right.
kind
That's
of
right.
Asian,
That's
kind
right.
of like
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, look, I'm Filipino, right?
see, you look like Asian there.
Yeah, there. See, there you go. Yeah,
And then you have
do
the
you like
last
my
name of
handkerchief?
Asian.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you like my handkerchief?
Yeah, I give that to you.
That's right, you did. And of course, these handkerchiefs to me are by far and away the most fashionable things in my possession, easily.
You can make it a scarf. Tie it here in your neck,
I tried it
And then,
already. I tried
yeah,
it already.
yeah,
It
that
didn't, it
one.
didn't, it's too, my neck is too big.
I
And
dare.
you know what they
Oh my
say about men
God.
with big, what? What?
But big neck.
You know?
That means you have a big waistline.
I was gonna say it meant I had a big something else, but I don't want YouTube to
Yeah, but
flag
you have to
this
look at on the
video.
feet or the foot. That's where you're gonna say you have a big something else.
Yeah, okay. Noreen, let's remember, I don't want YouTube to
Okay.
flag this video. Okay. Let's not, we have to be respectful to the YouTube gods, or
Anyway, you
goddesses,
can edit
or
this, right? So edit those things.
that's right. We can edit it. We can edit
Okay.
it. We can post the
Sorry, I
full
keep on
video and the
drinking.
edited video. Yeah. Well, hey, no more liquor ban, so you can drink whatever you want.
Yeah, but this is
So,
without liquor, so it's not good.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, come
No, but
over.
yeah. No, but I also have to say, because I can pass, because I'm a man, I have male privilege, and because I can pass for white, I have white male privilege. We were talking about this, remember, you, me, and some
Okay.
people. We were having dinner, remember, and
Yeah.
so so yeah. So so yeah, that must be said. Um, now, okay. So here's a question. Are you ready? Are you ready to get
Okay.
controversial?
Okay. What's the controversial question?
Okay. All right. So Noreen, should divorce be legal in the Philippines?
Of course, yes. Why not? Yeah.
But you are destroying families.
It's nothing to destroy. It's more destructible that they're not divorced and they're going somewhere. So better like, divorce, move your life on, or you can move on. He had to pay the alimony though. So at least child support should be there. So it's just okay. Yeah, definitely. I will agree with that one.
You know, years ago, this Filipina told me, in the Philippines, there is no divorce, so you are stuck with your loser husband. That's what she said.
Yeah. Yeah. And not only that, okay, because the only thing is like the family of the man, especially their moms, are tolerating their son. So it's more like this is a problem. This is a problem. So that's why. So for me, I agree to have the divorce because see, women are also suffering, in a relationship. So not only with their husband, but with also their what do you call this, the in-laws, the families of the husband. So for me, they should be moving on. Yeah. Can you hear the background? Are we so noisy? Huh?
Yeah, I can, but
Sorry.
so again, small channel. We're doing the best with what we can.
Okay.
Okay. Well, so let me ask you, Noreen, what about adultery? Should adultery be legal in the Philippines?
Well, if there's divorce, then why you should have adultery? There's no adultery then. If you're divorced.
Well, no, but I mean, but
Okay.
no,
Yes,
but
Andres.
no, but some, the divorce is punishable by law. And there have been people who have gone to jail in this country for adultery. Uh,
Yeah.
should adultery so adultery should remain illegal?
Yeah. Because it's like you're cheating. I mean, it's cheating. So why not divorce and not do, so you will not have adultery. Anyway, it's like in the 10 Commandments, it's also like, super sin. But they never mentioned there that, okay, divorce is against the, God's thingy. So I'd rather have divorce. So at least you will not commit adultery. Yeah. What do you think?
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. No, it's just divorce, excuse me, divorce is already legal in every other country in the world, I think. And in many countries, adultery is illegal, but I think in most countries, there are no laws prohibiting adultery. So that's very interesting. So okay, we're keeping controversial here. Controversial. Okay. So now, should abortion be legal in the Philippines?
Well, it's a woman's body. Women have right if they can, have the child or not. Especially if, the child is coming from incest or rape and stuff. Imagine the trauma that a woman actually handles on that situation. Plus, she got a child on it. So basically, yeah, why not? If there is a reason that can be a distraction to that person, especially to a woman, then I'd rather have it legal. Yeah, but if you're gonna be, how can you say that? The only thing is like if they are irresponsible, person, and then they're doing an abortion on it. So actually, it's kind of a very, very sad situation, but still, we as women should be able to be responsible in whatever decision we have to our body. So we should have given the right to decide on that. Because sometimes, like for example, if it threatens also our body, then abortion should be like, you know, like okay. Like for example, if it's a cause of our death or what, so you have the right decision that you can abort, you know, the baby or not. So proceed.
Okay.
So that's it. I'm agreeing to that
Okay.
controversial
Now,
question.
okay. Now, what about some of these what about some of these conjugal ownership laws in the Philippines? Can you comment on that? What do you think about them? Anything that you would change? Talk about that a little bit, or a
Well,
lot if you want.
anyway, if you are partners, you know, so well, yeah, you should be owner of whatever you own or whatever she owned, unless you have a prenup. So that's it. But if for me, if I have my husband, you know, and then we either I work hard on what I have worked hard for, and I have a property or anything. So since we're together, of course it should be conjugal. What is it for if you don't have trust? Right? So you either get divorced or before you get married, you should be, you know, you should know that okay, if you don't trust this person, don't marry the person or get a prenup. That's it. It's straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Noreen, based on your answers so far, I guess you are a modern Filipina or contemporary Filipina, and maybe your mother or some older Filipinas might listen to what you're saying and think that is
Actually, my mom will
too
not agree on what I'm gonna
untraditional.
say. Yeah, whatever my answers today, my mom will not agree on it. Actually,
Is that right? You think so?
yeah, quite
Mm-hmm.
conservative. You know, I was being brought up with a Catholic, you know, element of conservatism. Like I've been to Catholic school since I was grade 1 until college, but my perception on things are different. Probably, I don't know. Probably, I perceive things. I read books. You know, so books. It's like I traveled somewhere and then I absorb some different parts of knowledge, which is actually I can distinguish that, okay, this makes sense, you know, than what is been traditional that installed to us. So that's why. And then I traveled, so probably that's add on. Yeah, and then the people I met, the people I've been to or I've been friends of, so that's really also add on to things. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, so I guess so pretend I'm a more conservative. What would you say? Pretend I'm a more conservative Filipino who disagrees with you. What would you say? What would you tell me,
what would I tell
if
you?
anything?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I
Or
just
would you?
respect your,
Or
yeah, I respect whatever your perception, because that's how you believe. But of course I have my own belief. I cannot impose you what I believe. Okay? And you cannot impose me, you know, to change what I believe, what I think of. So the only thing is, if we're friends, then we just probably take away those topics, so at least we can be able to still enjoy our company, right? Yeah. So that's it. Because life is so short. We cannot, yeah, you don't know, especially right now, what's happening. So even having this agreement, you know, it doesn't make sense because you cannot go anywhere. So probably we'll find ways where we can agree on things. And that's it. And if not, then I have to move on and find those friends who I can, relate to. But I'll be nice to that person. So that's it.
Now, you mentioned earlier that well, you just said, first of all, you just said life is short, but you are also short, right?
Yeah, exactly. But we can be not short in bed. You can be the same height.
Hey, let's okay, remember, I don't want this video flagged by YouTube, okay?
You can cut it out.
Okay, so Noreen, now, what about, you mentioned earlier something very interesting, how some of these men, we were saying that some of these men, I forget specifically how, but I guess we were saying that men sometimes in the Philippines are not good husbands, as there are bad husbands in every country. But here, like some of the mothers of these bad men and the families of these bad men are on his side. So how is that how difficult is that for a woman? Like maybe your husband is cheating or not contributing financially, or maybe even physically abusive, but his whole family supports him, or rather is on his team, even though he's doing something wrong towards his wife. So what is a woman to do?
What is someone to do? Leave the bastard. That's all I can say. Yeah, I know. Women, see, the only thing that stops women is like they think that, oh, what other people tell, or what her family will tell her. These are the affectations she had in her mind. And then, of course, if there's kids, that's the worst thing. It's like, oh, how about my kids? Hey, your kids has their own life. If they grow up, they're just gonna leave you, kali wali, like something. Yeah, and you still end up by yourself. So why can't you just live a life like, okay, you can explain it to your kid, because your kids will see you suffering and unhappy. It's also not healthy for them. It's more healthier that you're gonna live a happy life. You can project it to your kids, you can project it to everyone, and of course they will just understand if you explain that, and they can see that anyway. So for me, it doesn't make sense to suffer because of what others people's telling you, or this, you have your children, and maybe you love your children, show them your love, your support. That's all that matters, okay, at the end of the day. Okay? So that's it. But being unhappy and treated like shit, like why you allow yourself to do that for yourself? So it doesn't make sense. And women also really got scared because they don't have, proper motivation. Okay, people also they've been to are also conservative thinkers. These are the things that makes them, suffer more in a relationship. So yeah, like to hell, like my husband also, I tell him, okay, one, even like you have to like do this to me, okay? You just forget we're together. That's it. Because they can do it again. Yeah, luckily I'm the one who did that to him. He cannot do anything. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Andres.
You are gonna get my channel banned from YouTube, Noreen. You're gonna get my channel banned from YouTube.
Well, you invited me here. It's not my fault. You know how I think. Yeah, guys. Actually, Filipinas right now are changing also. They become stronger. And then because of the information and because they have a career, especially the ones with career, actually realize it much more faster. Like, okay, I have to leave this man, that's it. And I have to do something for myself, which is actually good. Okay, especially with the social media. So they have more information. For narcissistic men, for men who's treating bad to their wives, so they have already notions, okay, on how they're gonna be getting out of the relationship and stuff. And that's it. And they don't think anymore of what others are thinking, unlike before. Yeah, so it's different. So at least society also accepted them. And that's quite, yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. Let's see.
Yeah, and I think connected to this phenomenon, which also I talked about on minimalism, which you can go to my channel and watch that video also. We talked about, and I think it's related to what we're talking about now, is the trend, which is slowly coming into the Philippines, which is I'm not moving out when I get married. I'm moving out when I'm 18, and my career is my focus, and I'm not going to get married so early and have kids so early. I'm going to maybe do that a little later. I think that's a little bit coming into the Philippines.
See that, because you know why, it's been modernized now, and then there's a lot of things they can do, like they can enjoy this particular sports, they can go to this one, they can travel. Before it's different, like people are like, like, how can you say that, they've been blocked with information, they've been blocked with, oh, there's fun, being single. So yeah, and they think that having somebody is actually the answer to have fun with. I will be how can you say that, I will be accepted, like before it's like when you don't have a boyfriend at this age, it's like a question mark. Oh, what's the matter with you? Somebody or what, like, yeah, those are the things, but right now it's different. If you have a career and then you have fun in your life, like your family is actually happy, like, oh, he's enjoying his life, so it's okay. Yeah, and the trend is being independent, right, at the age of 18 or 20 or 21. Yeah, our neighbor, remember Jenny's sorry, the son of our neighbor, I still have to can you cut the name? Okay, he wants to be independent, so he said, Mom, I want to be independent and all. Well, they're rich, they have all the apartments there, so he said, okay, she said, like, okay, you live to the next door. They're still neighbors, but he's independent, but it's a question mark, because if he needs somebody to clean the house, he will ask his mom, okay, can you send a maid to clean my house? So that's like, oh my God, what an independence, But independence means that you have to take care of everything, especially the bills. Like I got that, man, before when I was in Manila. So I really find my ways to pay my bill, to pay my rent, to pay my light, my electricity, my water. Because one time it got caught, like, or I'm delayed to the rent payment. So that's how how can you say that? That's how independence is. Okay? Taking care of your own shit. But this one is a different independence. I was like, I don't know if he's lucky, but kinda. Okay, so yeah, because everything is modern now, so that's good. And then people also have careers, even they are at home, like they can work at home, right? Just like you can work at home. So this element is not before happening, but now it can be. So it's a different story. So people can earn in a lot of ways. They can be in the corporate world physically, or they can be on their desktop or at home and doing all this shit. So yeah. So yeah. They can earn money in different ways. They can also, sell in TikToks and stuff. Yeah, I came to know about TikToks. Know about TikToks, Andres? It's a big thing.
I'm 44 years old. I'm 44 years old. I barely, as you know, I barely touch my Facebook.
Yeah, but you have how many accounts? 6, 7 accounts.
Yeah, but as you know, I never update them. There's only one that I regularly update, and even then, not much.
Yeah, and you didn't add me, so you should add me.
I didn't add you?
Yeah, you didn't add me.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You
so
know,
you don't have plan.
Okay. But there's also we also have to talk about class, socioeconomics, money. You know, there are
Okay.
some families without a lot of money, and they might tell their daughter, "No boyfriend. I forbid it," because they don't want her to get pregnant. And in the Philippines, and in other countries too, but in Philippines, you know, there are a lot of teenage pregnancies.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah.
You
So
know,
so what do you think? Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
okay, tell me.
So what do you think we should do here in the Philippines about teenage pregnancies?
For teenage pregnancies, okay. Basically, why don't they teach a proper sex education in school? Okay, that's the first thing they have to do, because talking about sex here is like a taboo, like, you know, like, oh, that shouldn't be, you know, you shouldn't talk about it. Of course your kids are gonna grow up, and the way they're teenagers, their hormones are shooting up, so they're gonna be super horny and super, you know, aggressive. And how can you say that they want to explore things? You cannot just like tell them, hey, I have to stop you there. Like, you know, no, these are changes. Okay. The only thing is you have to inform them properly. Okay. What is this? And then be responsible. If they're gonna do it, they have to be responsible. See, number one here, they also don't want people to use contraceptives, you know, which is also like, why? Why? It's all available everywhere, and you are stopping them to do that. Okay? This is what's happening. So it's stored in their head, okay, especially the men. Oh, to use condom is like I eat candy with a wrapper, you know? Come on. Just buy a right condom and it feels the same when you put it in. Yeah. Right. So these are the things that we have to do, because to minimize this kind of things happening. So that's it. They should be educated properly on sex and educated properly on how they should be responsible in every action they have to do if they're gonna do it, you know. And also tell them about contraceptives. That's it. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong. The worst thing is that they're using contraceptives when they are married already, because to stop children. Come on, be real. Use it before. Why not? But that's it. Probably I'll be banned in the Philippines. I don't want to do.
Wow. You'll be done
Yeah,
in the Philippines? What?
I'll be banned. They're gonna take off
Banned?
my passport. Then they're gonna throw me somewhere. Yeah, but that's how it is. That's a reality, Andres. And now more families become poor and poorer, you know, because they are not ready to have children, and they are not responsible to have kids, and they have a fuck up kids. When they grow up, they're gonna be fucked up because they're not having a proper
Hey,
care.
hey, hey, hey,
Not
hey, easy with the bad words. I don't want my channel to get flagged, okay?
okay. So that's it. These children will not be in a better state. Yeah, because of these things. And it's actually not their fault. I know somebody which is part of my family. Can you imagine that she got, you know, like raped by an uncle or something, plus their border, like, you know, all of this stuff. So she cannot even scream for help because she is, how can you say that? She's embarrassed. She's embarrassed of what's happening to her. Okay, the next thing we know is she got pregnant or something. So imagine that. So how that kid be responsible to bring up another kid? So that's come to my point. Why abortion should be legal, you know? Because of these things also happening. There are actually kids who are not ready to be mothers, and it's really hard because these are society and these are old thinking. So I wish it will change. The only thing is like it's also part of the government how they're gonna educate, you know, on these things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the
Yeah, you know, I
church
had
too.
a uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had I know this woman, and her brother has a daughter, and when the daughter was 14, I think, or
Mhm.
15,
Okay.
she had a boyfriend who she saw almost every day, and this girl, her father and mother were separated.
Okay.
Anyway, so the guy went to his sister and he said, "Can you know my daughter, your niece is only 14 or 15, and she's got a boyfriend. She sees him every day. Can you please talk to her?" And
Mhm.
so she gave her, I guess in America, what we would call the big sister talk, or here in the Philippines, we would call the ate talk. You know, she told her, listen, it's okay to have a boyfriend. You don't have to see him every day. And if you're serious about him, you know, you have to, if you're going to sleep with him, you have to use condoms. You know, she was just very direct about it. Um, yeah. So all these things we're talking about, we're talking about how poverty connects to or intersects. Everybody is saying that ad nauseum, but it's true. Intersects with sexism and with teenage pregnancy, and with the conflict with tradition and modernity. Um,
Mhm.
so let me. So what should we do? What should we do, Noreen, in your opinion, uh, about men who who make babies and then leave?
Cut their balls.
You are going to get my YouTube channel banned.
Yeah, because they're so like, what is it? Are you a cat? After you do that and then you just leave the kittens, then I'd
I
rather
like that.
neuter
Are you
you.
a cat?
You might multiply more cats, you know? Yeah, that's how it is. Why can't, yeah, or have them vasectomize. Okay, this is a punishment. If you cannot take care, then we vasectomize you. That's it. Right? You can still have sex, but you cannot have babies. That's it. Punishment. Yeah, because that's also really, how can you say that? Well, for me also, like women should be responsible still with their body. So if a man doesn't wear a condom, I will not gonna do anything with it if we're not married, you know? Stuff. So that's it. It's also for the, if I am a woman, I am a girl, well, I'm a girl, I'm a woman, okay? I have to be also responsible in my decision. I will not allow him to do that unless if that person is ready also to do it and to have babies, okay? Or I am ready to have babies myself. So it should be both of you together, to raise kids. But if not, then what the hell? If you want to do it, then get a condom, or get contraceptive. It's available anywhere. You just need to be informed how to use it. They might use it differently. So that's it. Yeah, because I cannot just blame the man about it unless you've been forced to do it. But you can still have that decision. I cannot do it with you if you're not gonna put this on. That's it.
Mhm, mhm.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can
Let's
always tell. Okay, go. Go
mhm,
on.
mhm. Okay. Okay. So let's come to okay. So last question. The on our on this video on Americano update for International Women's Day 2022.
Okay.
Um, what uh, what should we do about poverty in the Philippines, because there's a lot of poverty in the Philippines, and particularly women who are living in poverty. There are children living in poverty in the Philippines. There are men living in poverty in the Philippines. There are women living in poverty in the Philippines. What do we do about poverty in the Philippines and about women living in poverty in the Philippines,
Okay.
if
So
anything?
poverty is actually like a lot of people, like a lot of percentage of the public, or how can you say that, of the population are actually on that situation, right? Okay. Now the only thing is that, see, number one, okay, even you give education, that's why we have to also give this sex education thing. You know, it's a big thing though, because of course, like especially the ones who are in poverty, they're the one who actually produce more babies because they don't have the right information. Okay, I have to be responsible. These are the things that I have to do. If I'm gonna do it, that's it. Because they have this macho image of not using contraceptives because it demonize what we call that one. It lessens their pleasures and what. These are all in the mind, you know, misconception, and it's more on a masochistic or male chauvinistic whatever. Okay, now this one, and then number two. Well, this is actually what I noticed in all educational system. There's no financial literacy going on, or they are teaching kids how to manage, or how to make money, or how to really, you know, to at least how money works, how can they spend it wisely, all of these things. They don't have proper information on that. And that's what I'm facing on when I'm doing this job, you know, even in back outside the Philippines, you know, I'm doing financial planning, financial advising and stuff. Okay, it's actually the culture system, and it's not installed in our learning system, in the educational system, on how to deal with money. Okay, they only deal with expenditures. Filipinos are very emotional, you know, when it comes to money. So they want to lavishly spend it with their family, you know, even though on a birthday, like their kid is only 1 year old, they have to really get a pig and, you know, spend on the pig and make it a lechon, you know, and make a lavish birthday parties, which is not necessary. Hello. Okay, and they are actually loaning it. Sometimes they're actually borrowing money just to have a birthday celebration for their kids. So there are things like, you know, they have to be aware. Okay, these are the things, number one, that I would like the government should be putting on the system. So sexual education, financial education, those are the things. This will be helpful to lessen the poverty. Okay, because if the government will also say per family you should have this much of kids only, right? Which is actually should be, because number one, if you have more kids, okay, it's more responsibility, and it's the government is going to provide it later on, who's going to suffer. So this is actually what's happening. So the only situation is, are they changing it, you know? So there are financial institutions actually giving these learnings to people, okay, but some of them are actually like doing it for the money, and then some of it are doing it because they want to help people, you know, to be out in that situation. Okay? So these are the things that I can see that can be able to help and improve the country in terms of poverty situation. Yeah. Yeah, and then yeah, because especially like there are a lot of people which when I came back, you know, literally like Filipinos are self-entitled. Like they will not stick to a certain job. They keep on jumping from one job to another because they feel not good in this job, you know. So they have those things that they're doing that way. So it affects the financial thing on their family. So that's actually an added burden. So basically, yeah, that's all I can see. Unrest, which can be, yeah, you started from the very beginning, you know, and then go
Yeah.
somewhere. It's the educational system.
Yeah, you know,
It's a government.
I won't name. Yeah, I won't name names, but I know this couple, and they have money, and they can afford to do what they can afford to lavish upon their children, but that does not necessarily mean that they should. Their child turned, I forget how old, I want to say 5, but his birthday party was ridiculous. Like I went there and they had this big poster with his picture on it, and this
I don't
little
mind if they
kid.
have a lot of money, right? Yeah, but if they
Right.
just have some money, so it's like, yeah, it's like sad.
Yeah, but this kid, he was clearly in his behavior, or at least my impression was that
Okay.
he was a spoiled little kid, you know, and I actually didn't like him, you know,
Okay.
yeah, this little
It's gonna
kid,
be
I'm like,
bad
man, I don't
now.
like that kid. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 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 maybe now, yeah.
Yeah, they're
Anyway,
spoiling their kids, actually. Yeah.
yeah, maybe they are, I don't know, you know,
Yeah.
maybe they are.
I see that here. Like they have 3 maids, 1 house, 2 kids, 3 to 4 maids. Come on. Kick your kid's ass.
But
Stop sitting down. Wash the dishes. Yeah, learn it. You know. But the
totally,
others is, yeah,
totally.
the others telling like, oh, they can learn that in school too. They're doing it. Learn it at home. Fire the other maids. Let her do it. And you can tell her, you're the Cinderella. You're a princess, but you're Cinderella. So Cinderella, do the dishes, wash the clothes.
That's
That's it.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So, so Noreen, okay. So actually, this is the last question now. I know I said the last question was
Okay.
last question, but this is the last question. Um,
If you have more
what do you
questions,
want to
just come
tell?
here.
There we go. There we go. I can walk
Okay.
there. I can walk. Full disclosure, where I live is close to 5S. That's not why I like 5S. I like 5S because no, yeah, you got that's a good restaurant. Best in Davao, best Indian food in Davao, best restaurant of
Thank you
any
for
food in
plugging
Davao.
us. Yeah.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's true. And by the way, that's a whole nother topic. Maybe you and I will do. We'll talk about how
Okay,
the
what's your question?
inconsistency. Okay, okay. Well, I was gonna say we can talk about another show, the inconsistency of customer service in the Philippines, but that's a different show. So, last question, Noreen, what would you tell young women of the world today?
The world or the
If you could,
Philippines?
both.
Okay. What will I tell what? Your question.
What advice, if any, or what advice, if any, would you give to young women of the world or in the Philippines? Or is there, now that we're coming to the end of this interview, there were some other people who were going to come, but they couldn't. So it turned into the Norin Toledo show. What are
What
your
the hell? Yeah, I know. Where
what
the
are
hell are they?
people things happen anyway. So what would you say to women, young women of the world and in the Philippines, or what are the takeaways from this conversation that you and I just had?
Okay, so what I can tell them, the only thing I can tell them is like, even though you're a woman, that's actually an advantage. It's not a disadvantage. Don't look at it as disadvantage. There's a lot of ways it can. Okay, the only thing is you have to take care of yourself, okay, very well. Okay, the only thing to take care of yourself, not only your body, but your mind. So you have to take care of that. That means you read books as much as you can have, and then you should be in the you have to pick up right friends, okay, right, how can you say that? Right people who can actually, you can learn and be motivated to do more. Okay, and don't stop. That's it. Okay? Even though you're single, okay, it's not the end of the world. It's better actually. Yeah, but that's it. You can be able to shine wherever you are. It's up to you. Okay? And nobody should stop you. Okay, and that's it. Taking care of yourself. Be educated in a lot of ways. Okay. Right now, there's no excuse. There's internet. Okay, don't go to the channels where you get this wrong informations, or no other, how can you say that? Other stuff like, I cannot say anything. Okay? Useless, brainless stuff that has been shown. Yeah, and that's it. So what else can I
Okay.
say, Andres? Yeah.
Actually, we're due to another scheduling conflict. We're gonna have to end it here. So thank you,
Okay.
Noreen. I'm gonna
Yeah,
close this
thank
tab,
you. Yeah,
and
hold on. Let me
thank you
promote
so
you.
much.
Yeah, let me promote you first. Okay, thank you for
Promote
inviting
me.
me. Okay, my Americano
Okay.
friend. Okay, you better watch this channel. This channel is quite educational. Okay, and this guy, he has the heart for Filipinos. Okay, not only for Filipinas because he's married to one. Yeah, but he is a great guy that you can learn for. Okay, so Andres, hope to see you and hope to play Catan with you again so I can win more. Okay,
Wow.
bye.
Yeah, for reals. Okay, bye, Noreen. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.